So let's start reviewing all the UI screenshots that we have. Let's start with the first one. This it came from XAFer that they did a visual transition. So, and I saw this and I thought, okay, this was really nice because I worked in a delivery project a few years back, and this would have been great because that way you know like where is the product, it has been delivered, it has been cheaper, it has been bigger. So they pretty much have a table when they have the status that they will be needing for that order or that delivery or that process, because it could be anything. It could be a manufacturing process that had several parts. So the table is being updated as soon as the project, the product, the process, anything, the delivery is moving states, and we can see that the state transitions is updating the color accordingly. So if the manager or anyone just see the one, so he knows right away where in the process is that delivery or is that manufacturing process. So if Jose or Manuel want to talk about this implementation for a second.
I'm currently wondering if this is using the progress step progress bar. I think there it is. So there is the in the demo center. There is the just let me. Can I post images in the chat? I'm not sure. Can I not?
I don't know, but we can stop sharing. You can share quickly, and then we come back.
No, I'm on the other screen, but there's this really neat step progress bar from in the. So let's open up the demo center, and I can share my screen. It doesn't look like it's implemented with that, but I think that would be a perfect candidate, at least for WinForms. But I think this is WinForms, I guess.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah. So let's open up. I think I will refer to the demo center a lot in this talk or in this meetup.
Yeah, but the demo center is a great resource.
Jose, what do you think until I started up my?
Well, like basically, I got this idea right now that the main problem for the new people that is coming to XAF, that they think that XAF is not customizable, is that people is used to drag and drop components, right?
Yeah.
So what I wanted to tell is like, well, yes, that is one way to create the UI, but the second way that you can do it is that you can do it on code. So basically what I wanted to show you guys is I'm creating a new Windows Forms app. I'm going to, Javier, can I share my screen?
Absolutely.
Oh, there is in the screenshot it's telling it's the diagram control because they want to share the progress directly with the web UI.
So I think I'm sharing right now. So let me know if you can see. So basically the idea is most people think, oh, okay, when I need to customize something, I need to open a form like this and start dragging and dropping. You see that I never use Windows Forms because I don't even see the controls in here. It's initializing for first time because I never use them. So, but basically whatever,
like 10 hours.
Yeah, no, whatever you do in here, basically you are modifying the code behind of the application. That's what I want to show, that I put a control and then I show the code. So basically the idea is that when you don't know how to modify something, try to create a separate application that goes for Windows Forms and try to do that modification on the UI, like dragging and dropping, and then see the code that is result of that. And then you can implement that on your XAF application. I think that is the easiest way. But in this case, Manuel, you will have to save me because it will take forever to load since I never used it, I think, before. So let's wait a little bit.
Let's
switch to you
real quick. Yes, yeah.
I will stop sharing.
So let's close that down. Basically, I was thinking on this step progress bar control. I have no idea when this was introduced. I think it was 21 or 19.2 or something like this. But basically, this would be a perfect fit for something like this, and especially in combination with the status table. I did a similar thing with a bug tracker stuff where I have like a table with the status, the display or the display text and the icon. So there is all the icons you provide inside or of the application, or which are provided by DevExpress and XAF directly with the image loader class. And I think this would be a perfect option. But of course, this will be WinForms only. So I have no idea if there is something like this as a control for the web UI. But at least for Blazor, I think that's this is such an easy component to build your own in the web, because you have CSS and I know most of the people don't want to bother with CSS and HTML, but such a control is easy to build in the web, or there are
actually
hundreds of thousands.
Manuel, I'm going to interrupt you here, but I think like you touch a really good point. Is like in web, you can basically draw whatever you want on any shape that you want.
Yes.
It's not exactly like in Windows Forms. Like in Windows Forms, all the controls are square basically. But if you want to do any crazy shape, any crazy UI form, do Blazor, because basically you will be open and free to do whatever you want in any color that you want, in any layout that you want. So you don't have to depend on the grid. You don't have to depend on the pivot, on the reporting, on the charts. You can create your own charts kind of really easy. And somehow also, it's not that I'm looking like the web developers are less than the type language developers, but that ability of CSS and JavaScript and HTML is really common on the internet. So basically you will have thousands of millions of articles about it. Also, the labor is not that expensive because people come from PHP, JavaScript, they don't charge that much per hour. And there is a lot of people that is really expert in UI stuff. So we were talking with Javier after the Electron video that I did. It's like, maybe the idea is I will create a Blazor application with all the crazy UI that I want. And if I need a desktop application, I compile it with Electron, and then I have the Mac version, then I have the Windows version, and so on and so forth. So for me, the beautiful thing about Blazor is that you can actually just have one UI if you want, and you can be as crazy as you want also.
Okay, guys, I want to leave Blazor for the end because I have a lot of cool screenshots from Blazor.
Sorry for that.
And I have a lot of things. But I do want to do something. I'm gonna share my screen quickly.
There's only one thing I wanted to say about WinForms or Blazor, or better WinForms. If you stick with DevExpress controls for WinForms and look through the demo center, you almost always get some inspiration what you can use for UX. And WinForms isn't something new. It's around for 25 years or something, or 30 years or almost now. And of course, if you need to do custom drawing and stuff like this, it's hard. Doing high DPI stuff and all the kind of crazy stuff. But that's why we have DevExpress. That's why we use the controls. They're awesome. Use them.
So I'm just gonna quickly show this. I'm not gonna run it because I just saw that I had to update the DevExpress version and so on. But Gustavo was asking about custom templates. So in XAF, what you cannot do through controllers, that you can always access the underlying control and modify all the properties. So as Jose was saying, if you don't know how to do it in Windows Forms, that you know what are the properties, like you can look around the property panels and show and everything. You can do it here. You just do it in code, and you only have to access, for example, that grid control, and I don't know, set the property of color for even roads different. So you can do anything you want, and you can do crazy customization. But there are some cases that you can do that with the controller, and you need to create a custom template. So for that, you pretty much create like a template like we're seeing here, and then you have exactly the HTML that you need, and you can change anything you want. And I'm talking about XAF web here. But in Windows, you can even take and create your own ribbon, and you create your own things. And I'm going to, while Jose or Manuel is playing another of the screenshot, I'm going to create a new project, and I will create a custom template. So you see how fast, and we could modify something real simple, but you see how fast we can do something about that. So let's move forward, and then
I think we should move to the next screenshot.
Yeah. So the next screenshot, I just want to show it now, but I'm going to wait for Dave. He's connecting in like 25 minutes, so he can explain this one, because this is a screenshot from Dave. So if you see here, we have a transcript control inside a XAF Windows application. So we have here the media player that is running the video or is running the audio, and we can even see here the transcript that is moving as in the same time frame that the video or the audio is showing. So I don't know you guys, but I think that this is pretty neat. And welcome back to the implementation of this when Dave joins the meeting. So let's move, because we have a lot of them. Okay. So this is from another XAFer on the community, and if we see here, he has a great customization in XAF Web. And as I was telling you before, you can create a view controller that go to this analysis object and modify the property of color of even roads. So or roads something, I don't remember exactly the property. But also what is nice here, if you see the navigation on the side, it has some really nice icons, some really nice customization. So those small changes make a big difference in the life of the application. And we can even see it in the next screenshot. If you see, the icons are on the right. And it's a beautiful implementation, simple, elegant, and to the point. So
I wanted to point out, I think the easiest getting started to get into UI customization and giving it your a brand identity or your corporate identity is go with your color scheme, especially now with the office schemes in WinForms. Go with your accent color and go for custom icons. And custom icons are so easy to implement, because you just need to drop an image with the same image name as provided in the framework, and it will get replaced automatically. And so you don't have to fiddle around with all the kind of, you don't have to replace it in all the places. Just go and replace the, put it with the same icon name as XAFers provides, and it gets replaced everywhere. I think that's the first and easiest option you have to give a unique look and feel.
Absolutely. I think that the small change, just a change on the color of the top bar, just changing a few icons, that makes a big difference in the application. By the way, we'll see more crazy things now. Let's move to the next one. The next one is also as well you see some simple color on the header of the grid, some colors on the navigation. So it gives you a look and feel. If you see, it's the same color as the logo of the application. So it makes your application to look more cohesive. Let's continue. Tile view.
Oh, so, I love this one.
I do as well. It's really nice. If you see, this will be great for a touch type of interface, because you can pretty much have a big icon with a big module. So all the features for the sales, for the purchase, for the miscellaneous, the inventory. So this is a nice integration. And if you see, they are doing a dashboard view. So one thing that I want to point out here, XAFers also have this nice documentation when you need to integrate a control in your application. So you have to think, if this control tied to any business object, for example, the dashboard control that we integrated in XAF Blazor, that is not connected to any business object. So one thing that you could do there is just pretty much a view item, and then you, like as we did, you can put it in a dashboard view. But you can see here, you say, okay, the control need to visualize a list of business objects. That is definitely a list editor. The control is just for a property in your detail view. Like maybe you have a gauge control. Maybe you have something that is just for one property. Then like the map, you have latitude, longitude. So you implement the property editor. The control doesn't need to visualize data, as I was saying, bound to any business object. You do a view item, you do a custom control, you do a new form that you click and it shows that one. So right here, you have a lot of choice to select which will be the control or which be the way to go. Like again, if you have to do something that need to be added to the outside of the window area, so then you do a custom template. You can modify the ribbon, you can modify the template, and so on. So if we come back here, you see.
I want to say a little bit about the time control. If you're finished.
Please do it.
Yeah. So basically, if we look at the screenshot, there as always with DevExpress, there are a lot of options. I just opened the extra grid suite, and this is like the tile view as a grid, but there is also the tile control that's in the WinForms demo. So there's the Win-inspired controls tiles, and I think there's another one with the dockings, with the docking suite. So it is really easy to do something like this, and I did it in the past with the tile control.
I think that one thing that we need that I want to point out what Manuel is saying. XAF application are regular Windows application, ASP.NET application, and Blazor application. So if you go and you see a really cool demo from DevExpress or from any other vendor, it could be Falcon for Blazor, it could be, and they have a crazy nice customization done in Blazor, done in Windows, done in web, you can definitely do it in XAF. There will not be any constraint, anything that you cannot achieve. So you can integrate the control, you can bound it to the data, you can do anything you need. You just need to know where to access. So, and please, man.
I'm just curious which one they used, or is it even a custom drawn one? But I think it is the normal tile control, I guess.
I'm not sure, but it looks really nice, and that's what I wanted to show, that you can achieve this thing.
Actually, let me put my 2 cents in that one also, Javier. It's like back when I used to live in El Salvador, my family, they are in the marketing business. So we did a lot of machines and software for end users. And in the end, it was something like this. It was always in the back, a XAF application with a custom UI or a custom window. So we used to have something exactly like that, because my brother asked me to do like some menus for touchscreens. Back in, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, touchscreens were like really expensive at that moment. So we did it in XAF. Actually, it was in the first version of the tile control for Windows. Yeah, I mean, he told me, and the next day I think they released it, and I said like, well, let's do this, use this one. So basically, as you said, whatever you can imagine, if it's done in .NET, you can just put it in XAF inside. So that's the restriction.
And that's another good example, the tile control, I guess. This is something I never would implement myself in WinForms by hand. And I'm totally fine doing this with a couple of hundred lines of CSS and HTML to build it on my own with Flexbox. But that's the thing. The web
it is done.
Yeah, the web gets easier and easier and easier because there's so much ton of information out there. And WinForms sometimes is lagging behind, but with the power of the DevExpress controls, you can get even parity. So,
but you know that the WinForms has been the platform that is going to be obsolete next year, and has been 30 years.
No,
it has been WPF, and then it's going to be, it was with WPF, then with UWP. Like now we have the new way to do Windows app. Forget about Windows Forms. Windows Forms is still one of the platforms that more developers have worldwide for the easy of doing things right away.
And WinForms will not die. Microsoft said it again and again and again.
And they move it to Netcore, so that's...
No, actually, Javier, let me tell you a funny story. When we started using .NET back in 2002 or something like that, version 1, we were worrying about Windows Forms dying at that moment, 18 years ago. And it's like, and everyone was planning like, okay, we will move from VB6 to .NET. Should we do web instead because Windows Forms might die? And that is not going to happen, I think. I mean, they always say that, and I can bet that in 2030, we will have Windows Form 20 or something like 17 or something like that. So it's not going anywhere, actually.
No, The only thing that that is dying is Internet Explorer, and I'm very happy about that.
Okay, guys. I think that Dave just joined the meeting, so let's come back
That's
to
allowed.
the screenshot that we wanted to review with him. Hey, Dave, are you here?
Hey, how you doing, everyone?
I'm doing great. So
Hey.
we skip your screenshot for the transcript control, so we can give you
Beautiful.
the chance to actually explain it a little bit more. So go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So it's actually more than just a transcript control.
Welcome.
That's just one of the controls that we have in there. This whole piece is a document management section. So on the left-hand side, you get a folder structure that's actually pulling from the Windows folder, like directory structure. And then we can see there's images, there's documents, PDFs, all that down the side, videos, everything. So plugging this piece in, you can work with a large variety of documents within the application directly without having to use external application. And of course, we use some of the DevExpress editors, so the extra spreadsheet control and the document editor and all that jazz. So yeah, it works pretty well. There's some of this is brought over from another company that we work with called Exhibit View. They do a large amount of trial presentation software. So this was kind of a custom control that we rebuilt based on what they had that we're actually partners with. So
This with the dots, is this a DevExpress control or is this a custom built one?
so like on the dots on the left hand side there.
Yeah.
That's it's a DevExpress grid control.
Okay,
And we're doing a custom draw operation to fill that in. Same thing with the page number. So it's page 29 halfway down. We do a custom draw on top of that as well.
Never saw a grid like this. Looks awesome.
And I have to say, there are so many things that I think that they are really cool here. And just by looking at it, we have like a media player, audio, video thing. We have a highlight that when the video is playing is highlighting thing. We have the page 99 tooltip. We have a lot of this is really nice. We have a caption things there, show the time that is going. So I think that this is a great example of how comprehensive an UI customization can get, that it does really great things. This is an amazing example.
Dave, I have one question. It look because just from my experience, when I look at the screen, okay, I see the document manager up on top, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, but basically this is master detail view, or is it?
This is actually, this piece is a full custom control. So
so everything is fully built custom. So the toolbar with new open and all the stuff above the tree view is custom built, and the detail view also is custom built.
Yeah, so where it says case details, involved parties, emails, those are the classic XAF tabs. So the other part of the view. The documents tab is the one where we just stuck this custom control in. We built the new, the open, the upload, the full screen, all of those. We built our own little substructure for creating controllers and actions. It kind of mimics how XAF works with controllers and actions, but it's a micro version that we just has less flexibility, but we have very limited need for it, so it seems to work quite well.
But Dave, you chose this path more or less because you don't need a specific web version of this tool. So you got deeper into the UI customization on WinForms to get a better user experience and leave the XAF path, but keep all the great stuff that's around with XAF in general for all the other parts of the application. Because this seems like it's a really crucial and critical part of the application. So.
Yeah, so we actually started with a split list detail, where the left-hand side was a list of persistent objects. that represented the file system. We tried making that non-persistent as well. We just found at the end of the day, trying to work within the out of the box confines of what XAF does, the tree list editor, wasn't quite what we needed. It was close. It just wasn't quite there for a couple of the more advanced operations. So we decided to say, you know what, let's just create our own custom user control, put on the XAF, you know, the DevExpress tree list. And on the right-hand side, we're using kind of an open document area where we're loading up those custom user controls for, you know, a DVT, which is a transcript file, or a PDF viewer, or, you know, all those different things.
Yeah, that's one thing with XAF. There are some patterns around this, how to put in some such customization without losing XAF so much XAF built-in stuff. Because that's the way I was thinking. I was looking at the screen. It's like it's like a master detail view with the tree view as a list view.
And that's
a process I'm thinking of. And the more I look at it, the more it got customized. But it isn't a bad thing, because if this is your key heart and the heart of your application, do the work and put the effort in and get a great user experience.
Hey, Manuel,
XAF gets you close to 95%, and you have to do the hard part yourself.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing, Manuel. Two things about what you say. The first one will be, we have to define what is the hard part, because there are a lot of things that is just, if you already have that control in another normal Windows or XAF integrated, it's not hard at all. Access the grid control to change something is just a controller, and getting there is so. People tend to think that doing this customization are really hard, and maybe the hard part is creating this custom control that has a lot of things. But that will be the same hard part that you do in a Windows form, in another application. Integrating is not the hard part. It's like when you know when to do things, it gets easier. And let me say something else. One thing that you were saying is about the SAF way. I think that sometimes we need to, if we understand how SAF, and that's why we were talking about going through all this UI construction, learning about templates, learning about Windows frame and so on, because most of the time, for example, it's like if you want to hide the new action, you wouldn't do a new ribbon control, a new template with a ribbon just to hide that action there. No, you have a way to easy deactivate it. Or even in the model, you can go to the hiding actions and hide it there, and it will be just 2 seconds. So if we don't fight the framework, and we instead we take advantage of what he offers and just customize it to our needs, you are in a great spot. Because again, SAF gives you, as you say, 90% of the work. If you do want to do some custom screen, just a little bit more of customization, and you're good to go. So with that one, let me check quickly the chat.
Let me build on that as well, Jose. The myth that you've posted is that it's hard to customize the UI in XAF. There's two pieces to that. 90% of the time, you don't need to, right? That's kind of the key, is that XAF takes care of most of it for you. It is those little one-offs, that 10% of the time where you go, I kind of need to do this, and I don't know how to do that, so I'll plug in my own thing. I had a client I just did a code review for recently. They were using XAF, they're still using XAF, but every dialogue they're bringing up, they custom wrote, right? They override the list view process current object, and they bring up their own form. They override the new action. They bring up the different form. It was excessive. So we're, helping them through the knowledge of when to add a custom control versus when to let the framework do its thing and work with the framework.
I think I in my head, or when I teach XAF, it's always when I teach XAF customization, it's like going the XAF route first. So basically, the first thing that comes into my mind when thinking about UI customization, most of the time people want something like conditional appearance. So basically, that's the way the best way for UI customizations almost all the time, because okay, we want to change the back color, or we want to make this bold based on some criteria or something like this. So it works everywhere. And then there's the next step is like, okay, we want to tweak this a little bit. So we access this editor and do some kind of optimizations, or not only appearance, but sometimes, of course, behavior, like with edit mask and stuff like this, or advanced stuff that editors provide. And then the next level would be implementing a custom property editor, or the next one would be doing some kind of view model stuff with a custom property editor. And the next level is like doing your own list editor. It isn't that hard, but do you really need always to implement a custom list editor, or is it just fine to throw in a control? It depends. Do you need to reuse it?
And not only that, Manuel, I have a screenshot down below that I actually did it myself, where we have a complete point of sales, and I did not do anything outside of SAF. I will show you that I didn't need to do a custom list editor or anything else. I just do list view, master detail view, put a picture in a corner, did some small tweaks, and that's it. So let's get there. Let's come back to here with the last one that we review before we come back to the one from Dave, was the tile view. This is a really nice one.
We have it,
and then let's go to logins. So this one, this is a login from the issue tracker from Yamachan. And if you see, it's a really simple customization. We don't see it here on the top, but the top of the navigation is of the bar. The top bar is gone. They took it out, and a nice logo. And we have a reset password here. So it's really elegant, really simple, and makes the what we need to do. And same thing here in the demo fitness app. That is one of the case studies for SAF Web. Look how nice is this. It's just simple, just a small username and password. Remember me login with a background picture that is beautiful and good to the point. And this is SAF. This is nothing. This is not any other, I don't know, any other platform. Let's continue. This is another example of a nice login with some customization. If you see what I was talking about, the top bar is this one, where it says that's inicio de sesión, is session init, something like that.
Session start.
Session start. So, and then a nice logo, and then right here you can even choose the language. You can say, okay, it's in English, it's in Spanish, it's in German, it's in anything. So those are really simple customization that you can do it. I also wanted to show, of course, that SAF comes with a really nice RTL support. So if you see, this is a complete SAF application with everything from RT left.
My brain hurts when I see this, but it's awesome.
Yeah, we are used to read other ways, so it's hard for us, but I do believe that it shows the power of SAF. It shows the power of SAF, that SAF is completely localizable, international, and so on. It's really nice, in my opinion.
Let me interfere here,
please,
for a second. I think I'm with the only one here that can understand this screen because this is in Arabic, right? Right to left is most important aspect in any application used in Gulf area or in Arabic area. We used to have the screens from right to left, and actually there is one of the things that I like about XAF, that its ability to give me this layout, the right to left layout. In addition to this, the translation module, the translation method that DevExpress follow to allow developers to create an easy way to transfer the English language to an Arabic language was very, very easy. That's why most of the developers that know about XAF and know about its capability to transfer to Arabic language really like it and start working with it without no question.
I think that is amazing. And not only that, I definitely don't understand anything here, but it's so beautiful to see that we can get this almost, I won't say out of the box, but yeah, that we have that possibility that we can do a few changes and we have this, and because we want to be as inclusive as possible. And not only that, we cannot understand this, we can work on this project. I can work on this project, and then someone that knows this language, that know that things, just review what we're doing. So this is a great way to show the power of XAF.
But
So,
I will say
yeah,
something, Javier. This goes the same for us, for Spanish language, because half of the world speaks Spanish. And for us, it's out of the box. We write the application actually most of the time in English. And when it runs on the computer that is in the localization of that country, most of it will be in Spanish, actually. We just need to enter the data in the right language. But beside that, I mean, that is super neat, because otherwise you will have to do hundreds of tricks. I mean, I come from BB6 where this didn't exist. So I know how, and we were doing software for China at that moment. China, they use another alphabet, way more complex. So if this comes out of the box for us, I mean, it will save tons of time.
yeah.
okay, give me a second. We have 2 more XAFers joining in, so I'm admitting them. And I want to say this again. Thanks again. I'm always amazed that a lot of XAFers show up here, and this is amazing. I hope that one day when all this COVID craziness goes away and we can travel and we can do things, that we can do some type of event that everybody can show up and we can meet in person and we can have like a summit or something, and we'll get there. And as well, I think that we should do this event more often. I'm using right now a Sim Fusion teacher that I like because he's called Sleep and Eat. I want to have one of these from DevExpress. Okay, let's move forward. I don't want to.
There's one question in the chat from Alex. Do you run the easy test for each supported localization and right to left? I'm not sure if I'm qualified to answer this question because I didn't RTL so far. For the localization, no, but you can easily do this with parameterized tests. There is data support in easy test, I guess. There was the table instructions, but I'm not
I think
sure.
it's not data driven.
I didn't did it before for multiple localizations in with easy test. So does anybody have any experience on that?
Well, I don't, but I will say something like, in general, I think the localization should not matter that much, but you should do it in your main language. Actually, this is a really interesting question because most of the time we do multi-language systems, but we only try in one language. We only do the test in one language, that is English, like 100% of the time. But it's interesting to see, like, I will do one test in English, I will switch to right to left and see what happens. I mean, because we're not in the right to left, I mean, way of thinking. That's why it never came to us, I guess.
I think that the thing with right to left and localization is sometimes a little bit sometimes long strings could mess up layouts. Yes, that's a thing. But easy test isn't meant to be for going into layout details if layouts are broken. They are functional tests. So they basically a test
for that.
A test written in
sorry that I cut you off.
Yeah, a test written in easy test. Of course, you have to say click save, and those aren't the action IDs. Those are the captions. So if you want to localize the app, you need to localize the tests as well. But the thing is with right to left or most of the business applications, you write it in 1 or maybe 2 or 3 languages, and the functionality should be the same regardless of captions. But if you have to make really 100% sure it's working on all different languages, sure, to write 3 easy test suits or write a localized and parametricized test suite if your business needs that kind of confidentiality. So German is 30% longer than English. No, it's 50% longer, I guess.
Okay, guys, just
well, then Spanish is like 60% longer because we have like phrases like this.
Yes.
Okay, Javier, go ahead.
Okay,
Otherwise,
guys,
we'll start
go on.
Let us know if we answer your question completely. If we answer fully, if you still have some doubt, please put it in the chat and we'll come back to the topic. But let's move on to the other screenshot. So right here, we have a couple SAF window pointers. We see here, let's move here just a second. We have again, the category, the product, discounts, and then we select the customer, and there is a discount, and even if we don't see it here, there is applied discount, cash, and so on. So this is, again, another nice implementation. Let's see this one. Again, is you can see here that we have like a touch even that we can select products, numbers, we can lock the sale, I guess, because we have a night lock or so on. So all of these things are definitely doable in SAF windows. And let's show mine. This is actually mine. So if we see here, I didn't find the framework here at all. This is a list view, detail view, master detail. So I have in the corner just a list view with a list of pictures. And then in the other right, I have a detail view that again has a list view and it has 2 list view in the same depth. If you see, I customized I put an action in the detail view that I customized and I put the green color. This was just a proof of concept to see how much things I can change. I change the color of the button. I put this image on the list view about adding a product that plus icon that X, so I can remove that $sign is for discount. So if I click there, it will show you a discount picture. I put the category. So if I go, I have baked goods, beverage, candy. So you select there and the products here will change. And then in the products, I have a picture I can select. Not only that, if you see here, when I click pay, I can put what is the amount that they enter. And because I was trying to do this for a SAF Windows tablet, like Surface or something, I had to do like a screen keyword. So when you click pay, it will show you a screen keyword that you can actually, let's wait for it again. And I use the font size controller from Yamachan. If you see, I can increase the font size or decrease the font size. So I didn't go around. I didn't integrate a custom control. I didn't do anything. I just went with what SAF offered me and start modifying things. List view, master detail. I have all these pictures stored in Dropbox. So I only bring in the link. It's not in my database. It's not slow in the application. And it works fine for my requirement. So again, these things you can definitely accomplish. And if you see there, we have a barcode that if you scan something, that will add the product to that list view. And the barcode pretty much was a keyword emulation. So all of this was without fighting the framework. I just have to access the grid control and modify a little bit. I access this button and change the back color. That's it. Pretty much that was the whole implementation here. This is another point of sale, and this one is a little small, but this was Yamachan for like 8 years ago. So it's not something that we can do now. This is something that it was being able to customize 10 years ago, 8 years ago. You have been able to do this type of customizations. Dave, you want to add anything there?
No, I think you pretty much nailed it. I mean,
yeah.
This was a fully custom control. You know, we had some actions on there where it does use, you know, the application to create detailed views and that kind of thing, list views, but it is fully custom. So
yeah, what it amazed me is that it's simple, but it was done 8 years ago in SAF, 10 years ago. So it's not something that, again, we have another one that if you see, we can select the products. We have yeah, that's again, that's the whole thing of the meetup. We have a conversation.
Can you order some chips?
Right here, if you see, you can order wine, you can order drinks, you can order anything inside SAF.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
So SAF Web, this is the same fitness app that we saw really customized login. If we see, we have a picture inside that detail view. We have a lot of neat things here. And I think that this looks great. And actually, this is one of the first SAF cases too with really nice customizations. And they did a lot of work even with XAF web forms, they had a lot of setup done for, I think that 200, 300 concurrent users. So this was one of the case studies that XAF provided in their website. Okay, this is the one from that they started rolling all of this. We're having Autodesk Forge inside XAF Web. So you can visualize 3D things, you can do a lot of nice things. So I think that this is awesome. I don't know if by Halding want to add anything here, but this is great. You're on mute, yeah.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. Actually, regarding this screen, the Forge screen and the grid inside is only one user control that I added, I created, and then all functionality related to Forge, I put it inside this user control. And using XAF, I just create a user control editor and put it inside the so it was very easy, very simple for me to bring Forge ecosystem inside XAF.
Nice. It looks great. It looks great. That's one of the nicest screenshot that we have here. So let's continue. Document scanning. So right here is a simple, this is a Spanish application, but they can actually connect to a scanner that they have attached to their computer, and from their XAF application, they can send the scanning functionality. So this is another example of just integrating a custom control. We can also see Kanban board. I did this myself, and this was just simple, going to the support center, finding how to integrate the dash with the Kanban control, and it was right there. Download that one, follow 3 steps, and if you see, we can move here from new projects to in progress to completed. Really nice. And this is a sample project, but I will show you a real one that is being used in an application that we have down below. So let's see, we have fingerprint scanning. Same concept. We have a fingerprint scanning device connected to your computer, and from the XAF application, you can make your employees or anyone else clock in, clock out through the finger scanning or fingerprint scanning and more. We also have, and you can even go to the video on YouTube and check, but this is a really nice implementation using one of DevExtreme widgets. And we're going to talk about DevExtreme in XAF Blazor in a little bit, but this is in XAF ASP.NET, where they are actually using that widget of bioacoustic to see the wave of the sound and some other analytics that they do have right there. I really recommend everyone to go and check that video, but it's a really nice a screenshot that shows what we can accomplish and that we can integrate everything, because again, XAF application and regular .NET application, Windows, web, and Blazor. This is the Kanban board I was talking about. This is actually a real project. This is not a sample, where they have some jobs that they have to assign. They have in progress, they have on hold, and if you see, they have even round corners on the cards. They actually are integrating here really nice Kanban board widget. And we also have the Gantt. So same thing, XAF web using a Gantt, so we can do project management in a better way inside your XAF application. Let's see here. As always, we can integrate the diagram control. And I have a couple examples here that you can do for, even if you can do, I don't know if you have seen the app map, that you can even say, I want to have my Summer Informs application, I will do a main layout with a main detail view, and you connect and you do all your views right away. We can do even something like that. Excel inside of XAF, Word inside of XAF. So that's our Office module. And then if we see here, this is again another screenshot from Yama-chan, when we have a custom user control that notify that this case is inactive, for example, and you have some really nice visualization of what is the status of this object. Dave, you want to add anything here?
No, I think you nailed it.
Nice. So let's then continue. Okay, this is another one that we have like a nice wizard setup configuration that we can just integrate, and we're going to be setting up, in this case, our connection stream, but this is the way that we can actually integrate things. And now that I see this, I forgot that I have another similar. So this is the wizard module from Expand, and if you see here, we can do, let's check we can create the steps. So we can say, okay, these two fields are the first one that I want to fill. This is the second one. It will get the the validation, the appearance rules, and so on. So this is another example of things. And this is integrated only for SAF window using the wizard control the window form has. So it's nothing crazy. It's nothing that we are reinventing the wheel. We are just taking the wizard control for WinForm and reusing it here. Let's continue. A really nice dashboard implementation. We can do a lot of dashboard, and one big example is the COVID analytics that Yamachan did, and this is, in my opinion, really great because we can have inside SAF really nice visualization. And even if we want our application to be beautiful, to be performance, one thing that really is important is reports and dashboards. So management know how your business is doing, what are your key metrics, and so on. And this is a great example of that. Let's okay. I think that we are in the fun part. So let's talk about SAF. So right here, I will show you, this is the first one. This is one that I did. Pretty much I hide the navigation, I hide the logo, I hide everything, and pretty much what I left was just one detail view that it gets open when you open your application. That detail view have two parameters, so you can put the long URL and it will give you the short URL of that one. And I recommend everyone to use it. I have it running in Azure. It's in blob storage, really cheap. So if you want, let me put it here. It's URL XAFers info. This is a project that is live and you can definitely use it. And let's say that we're going to select, let's see which is this one, a really long URL. And then we get a really nice, wait for it. I haven't run it in a while, so when actual functions you don't run it, you have to start from scratch. But you have right now a SAF live.
Xavier, I think it's a little bit overkill to use XAF for that, but it's totally fine.
No, I use it for everything.
Manuel, we used to have like this conversation with Javier a lot. It's like, even if you have one screen with one text box, I will not do a Windows Forms and drag and drop a control, because I will have to create a database, the query. So imagine.
Yeah, sure.
So even if you have one text box, it's easier to use SAF than using anything else, actually.
And again, this UI, because the backend is all Azure.
Oh, that's awesome. I saw this before, but I didn't think it's really XAF.
Yeah, it's XAF.
It was XPO only, but it's XAF.
No, it's completely XAF, and not only that, it's only the UI that is XAF, because when I put here and I click get your URL, it calls an Azure function, does all the processing over there on Azure, and send me back this, and I put it here. That's it. I'm not storing anything. I'm not storing your link. Everything is stored in Azure Blob Storage. So when the next time that you're using this link as well, it goes to that Azure function and it gives you the right URL. So, but I did
Javier, we have some
questions.
No, continue. No, we have some stuff in the chat. It's like you skip two important screenshots that they maybe you can show the one from Gustavo and the one from Aldo. Aldo wants to check the one the map, Google Maps.
Okay,
I think we have one there.
Did I move it too fast?
It was the same. I think it's the same screenshot. Aldo was referring to mine.
I think that I went too fast. Maybe let me come back to it.
Yeah, because it's like I mean they send the screenshot, so it would be nice to show it.
I think that I showed it, but let's come back to this. Let's see here.
Yes.
There it is.
Here is a combination of several screenshots. One thing we use it to with very well results is the embed of a report as a UI control. Several times customers want to show data that is not that's the way we think the best way to show them is through a report. Then the user don't know it's a report, but we arrange it as a user icon, UI control.
Cool stuff.
I see.
The other controls, in the center is diagram control with dynamic creation from the data. The customer wants to know relationship with its customers, and in the first left are a simple web detail of a view of Google Maps. It's only a render of
a map.
web control. No special thing.
Also, I think like I have not used this that much, but I think that in extra reports you can include your own report, your own control. You can make your own control and render data over that control. So you can even include a map or whatever you want, and you can do again crazy stuff because you can include the map, you can include whatever you want. Again, it's a normal control, and I will code you on that, Manuel. It's just code. Do whatever you want. It's
yes. Also,
like
the report is have several buttons that the user can click and not only a drill down it or open another SAF window with a simple code from the report.
That's really nice.
It's really nice. And sorry that I passed it, Gustavo. I was going through all of the screenshot. I didn't realize I moved too fast. We are always running a little bit longer than we should, so I'm trying to keep this more shorter so everybody can enjoy it and don't get. I enjoy this a lot, so I can be here for hours, but it's not everyone has that time frame, and I want to appreciate everybody that is here with us. But yeah, definitely, this is a really nice three. So this is three screenshots in one. We're showing Google Maps integration, we're showing diagram control, and we're showing a report as a detailed view item. So this is, again, thanks Gustavo for that screenshot. And again, we were talking about the URL shortener. This is, again, just a SAF hiding a lot of things and just opening a detailed view. This is pretty much just opening a detailed view. That's pretty much it. Let's
just a sec, folks. Can you hear me? Because my
we can hear you.
Phone's died. My phone's died on me. So my headphones.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Okay, so now we have this is XAF Blazor as well, just showing us a mobile with a bigger splash screen and just some icons on the bottom. So I have a video on my YouTube channel that you can click there, and this is just like a link to, let's say, a list view, sell list view or customer list view, and you can just select just like a bottom bar on Android or like a bottom bar on iOS. And if you see here, we have the same application with just some gradient on the navigation bar, some small things that make, in my opinion, a big difference with the user. This is another similar concept, but the icons, instead of being on the bottom, because if you have realized the validation message, let's say that you put a wrong password and it says your password is not the right one for your user, it shows on the bottom. So if you have those icons on the bottom, it will be hiding that message of the validation. So we move it to the right, and right here is like a shortcut, some access navigation, and then you can see we have a picture of a landfill and a lot of neat things. And of course, if you guys have seen my video or my article about integrating the dashboard control in XAF Blazor, we know that we still don't have all the modules, we don't have the scheduler, we don't have the dashboards, but we can definitely integrate it. And I have a video showing that, and this is an example that we are clicking the dashboards, and we can here have a designer and a viewer of the dashboard control right here. And I want to show this in this presentation. We show that the dashboard control we integrated. Let's see now the scheduler control, and let's run it for a second. So I can show here, I was going to do a video, but I say, okay, let's wait for the meetup better so we can show this in action. So the scheduler control is still not, the scheduler model is not implemented, it's not ready for XAF Blazor 2. But again, it's the same methodology. You can integrate any control that you want. And so let's see this. We have I use the same methodology exactly as we use in the dashboard control. And when I have here the Blazor scheduler control that DevExpress have, nothing to do with Blazor, with XAF, just Blazor. And we can integrate it here. And if we see here, we have our appointment class, that is our regular class from XAF, where we can create a new appointment and so on. But let's see it in the we have here dashboard control. So we can again select, add a new dashboard, a new appointment, meet up. and then we can select the start time, end time, the date, the location. We can actually expand and select a label. I want this to be the red one, and we can save, and we have here, we can move it, we can do things. And if we go to the appointment, it was only 2 here. Now we have 3, so we can create all the appointments that we need, and we are integrating that scheduler control in XAF Blazor. And it's the same exact methodology that we were using before. So the code, if you see, is just adding the scheduler. Again, this is a new Razor component that we have to add to our application. We have to go to our app Razors and let them know that this new component will be in our assembly, because if not, it will take in everything from the Blazor Dev Express assembly. And use the same methodology. Right here, we can call our all our business classes, everything, and we have the nice application provider that the service, so we can have the application in our custom component. We can have our object space, and it just works. I think that if you think about this for a second, that means if we're integrating here the dashboard, the scheduler control, and we already integrated the dashboard control, that means that we can integrate any control that we can think about. And I will show you something that I cannot show that project because it's for a client, but I can show you the prototype. So if we see here, we have another project. This is pure Blazor, nothing XAF related. This is just Blazor using the Blazor control. So we can integrate these charts in our XAF Blazor using the same methodology that I just showed with the scheduler control or with the dashboard. We need a list editor, and we can do this one. So we have all our records as a really nice card view, and not only that, really responsive. So if you're seeing a mobile device, you see that it actually responds to all those resolution changes. So the future with Blazor is so big, so because there is no UI that you can send us that we cannot recreate, because it's all about adding any custom control. It can be not only Dev Express, it can be your own custom control, it can be Radsen, it can be Syncfusion, it can be Math Blazor, anything that you want, you can put it there. And I will let Jose show a really nice one that is also for me a beauty. And again, you see, this is another sample list editor that is just a card view. This is just a table. We were just testing how we can present the information in different ways. Instead of using the Dev Express grid, data grid, we just put a table. So it's this just an HTML, but we can put again anything that we need here. And this is the one that I want Jose to show. This is pretty much embedding a code editor inside of XAF Blazor. So we can actually do some scripting, so really nice things. So we can actually do some similar to try.net that we want to test. Okay, how can I join 2 lists and see what is the difference and see the answer? Something that you don't have to create a new console project. You just go there and do it right away. So Jose, I will pass the screen to you, and you.
No, I will not share for this one. I will share for the example, but I want to talk about this idea. Well, we do have a state machine that is able to run scripting on each transition. So the idea is to allow the customers to do small scripts. So when they do the transition, they can execute something. For example, create some records somewhere. So this is actually the editor that Visual Studio Code uses. So basically, you have
Monaco,
Visual Studio Code. Yeah, Monaco, exactly. So it's the Monaco editor. And we have scripting for a really long time already in our applications with Javier, like maybe, I don't know, for 10 years already. But we always did the script on Visual Studio, then copy the text and paste it there because we didn't have autocomplete, IntelliSense, so on and so forth. And we always have like a minimized version of a code editor without autocomplete and IntelliSense. But this is Monaco editor. You can have exactly the same editor that you have in Visual Studio Code inside your XAF application. So currently we are working on our scripting engine because with the release of XAF Blazor, we want to ship some some scripting functionalities. So we will support scripting for JavaScript, F#, VBNet, and C#. So however you want to expand your application and create small scripts for your application, you can do in those 3 languages. You want JavaScript, use JavaScript. You want VBNet, use VBNet. You want C#, use C#. So it's really neat. It's not much of a UI customization, but I put a custom control. Actually, it's a custom editor. So that's it for this. I mean, for this UI customization, I think like basically you can do whatever you want. So
is this using the Monaco Blazor or Blazor Monaco or how's it called?
Yeah, Monaco
Blazor.
Yeah.
And the thing is
but that's the same one that use VS Code, right?
Yeah.
The tool I wrote with at Ranorex was based on Monaco exactly, because we needed multi-language support, and it's an awesome tool. But I never integrated in XAF so far. But if I want to, I really want to incorporate this in the future.
No, I mean, we should do a module with you, Manuel.
Sure.
I don't know if Jose talked that because I step out for a second, but the main thing that we want to accomplish here is do an XPO playground. So you can actually,
that's cool.
Like of course, it will be like an in-memory
representation. Yes,
exactly. But you will be able to create your XP collection, see a representation of the data that you read, and do some tests. You see, you want to test how you are interacting. So, and I think that will be great for people starting with XPO that doesn't have to set up everything, download and Uber or anything.
Then I will take the screen for 1 second, Javier. I just want to show something.
Yeah.
Really quick, talking about that. So let's see. Okay, so the first idea that we had about the XPO playground was using this tool that is the Juniper Books, I think.
Juniper Notebooks, yeah.
Yeah, it's always, I mistake the name. So the idea is like, you write your import, you write which package you need to install, and then you write the code, and then you can do it step by step. So here basically are the step-by-steps to start an XPO application. You create your class, then you do the update schema, and then you create one record. And this will actually run and download the NuGet file and so on and so forth. But we didn't like how the code looks like, so that's why we moved to the Monaco editor. Because our first idea was to use the interactive shell or the Juniper Books or something like that. But in the end, I think Monaco is even better. So
they use Monaco under the hood, but they don't. I saw it yesterday, I think. They expanded Juniper support for .NET Interactive, but you have to do some plumbing to get it work right and stuff like this. I think it would be pluggable into Juniper Notebook, but for an XPO only playground where you can connect to your data store, to your personal data store, I think it's a great developer tool where you can, it's like write your own little script without having to go to a new file new project kind of thing.
Yeah, and also you don't depend on the studio, because we've been talking about this forever with Javier, like which type of machine do we need to develop? With XAF Blazor, the requirements are a little bit less because HTML is easy to write and you don't need that much resources. So,
and one thing that about that is, like in Xamarin, we need emulators and we need a lot of other things, and we used to do a lot of Xamarin. But I was thinking for Blazor, with code spaces from GitHub, there is a chance that we can actually have a really light laptop with not too much processing and do everything on the cloud. So that's really exciting me, because that's also that also means that I don't have to be worried about backing up my computer, backing up the code, making sure that everything is nothing in my computer. I can lose it tomorrow. I get another one, I will be good to go. That's really.
There's one Joseph, is this Monaco editor can edit direct SQL procedure with encrypted in this context database. I think so. You can do whatever you want, basically it's sending only text around, and
Formatted
where it's
text and highlighted
processed.
text.
Yeah, and where the source code is processed, and there is Monaco works like this. It's like you have the editor space or the editor itself, and you have the language services, and language services bind together with a language service protocol. So there's an open protocol made up by the Microsoft guys, and almost every editor like Atom or VS Code, or they agreed on this standard, how they interact with show me the suggestions for this state of the editor, basically. But there needs to be some kind of backing process that communicates via, I think it's JSON RPC. Oh yeah, it is JSON RPC. And so it's completely decoupled. So you have your editor that's running in a browser, and it can run in a browser inside a WinForms thing or inside a Blazor page.
Also, Manuel, it's like if you think about Visual Studio Code, it's totally a multi-purpose editor, like basically a huge notepad that can support any language. So yeah, the same functionality we moved to Blazor in this case.
Yes, that's the idea behind the language server protocol. Mm-hmm. So you connect your editor to some kind of remote process in some kind of hive. It can be in the cloud, it can be on your local machine. It's just this is the TCP port, or this is the URL you're remoting with, and there the code gets analyzed and compiled and processed, and you get your suggestions and squiggles and all that stuff around. So that's the reason why this is so.
And also one thing that I want to tell here is, like you just said, Emmanuel, but in most technical words, is like language service, editor, and then you have to process whatever you wrote in there.
Yeah.
The editor doesn't do any
completely separated.
Yeah, the process doesn't do any processing. Basically, what I do is like I take it helps you write the correct text that you need to do in order to compile it or to run it. So because you have highlight intelligence, you will do less mistakes. But after that, it's basically just text. You take the text, you compile it, or you do whatever you want, or you run it in the database, whatever it is, but it's not part of the editor. The editor doesn't do anything but highlighting and make sure that you have functionality like IntelliSense, autocomplete, and so on and so forth.
And squiggles and all that stuff.
And then you need to take that text and do something with that. In my case, I compile it with Roslyn compiler, or if it's JavaScript, I use Gint. But in the end, it's like this is an editor. It's not a processor or a compiler.
Okay, guys. So one thing that I want to say.
Last screen.
Before we get to the last screen. So one thing that I want to say, because we start recording a little later. We start recording on the first screenshot, but all the presentation we lost it because my mistake. So I will just repeat this. The documentation for Blazor is getting better and better for XAF Blazor. And this is the perfect moment to read the support tickets every day, because there are a lot of great questions about XAF Blazor, everything, and then we can know what is being implemented, what is not ready. If you see, they already have some nice documentation about changing the logo, changing the icon, changing the splash screen, and that's already including Blazor and everything else. If you see, we have even custom splash screen.
Also, Javier, I was surprised about that, because I posted a ticket in the dev support in the support center yesterday, and they sent me a link. It's like, if you want to create a custom editor, this is how you create a custom editor for Blazor. So they already have documentation for Blazor. I didn't see it before. I assumed that there was no documentation at all, and I started just like checking the source code and try to understand it and fix it. But they have documentation already. That's really
they are getting good on that, and I wanted to tell about this, about the application, the documentation, because the next screenshot is from Manuel that is pretty much customizing the profile picture of the user. And I'm gonna let Manuel get into that, but I will do my guess. Okay. So for example, documentation is getting better and better. The UI support center is really good. I recommend everybody to make an habit of reading every day, because especially now that Blazor is so new and is evolving, the support tickets are a goal. But I also have always open my DevExpress Blazor standard. That's the code that they provide. And if I can take a look, I will say that the account component will be the one that is taking care of that picture displaying. And if you see here, this XAF image component is the one who is showing the security user logo and then the security header. So there are two different pictures, one when it's collapsed and one when the drop down show. So in my opinion, right here, pretty much what we'll have to do is create a new template for the main window template and modify that. And if you see here, they have a hard code. It's not something like the get username that you have like a way of doing it. And if we go to the XAF image component, it didn't show. So let's go to components and look for it, XAF image. We have here this get image URL, that get image URL called the image URL service that we can access through the service provider and call the get image URL method. And we pass that image name. And with that image name, we have the method here. So what I'm trying to say here is read the source code, and that will help you a lot. Read the support center and see how they are implementing things, because we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And Manuel will give you more specific on that, unless he did some Photoshop here. We don't know yet, but we'll find out.
I'm not going to show a lot of source code. I'm just
no, because that also is not supported yet. That can change tomorrow, and everything that you show now maybe is not even going to be the same code that we have to do later on. That's changing every version. So
yes, I'm sharing my screen right now.
Yeah, no, you haven't. Let me stop my share.
Yeah, now I'm sharing. Or
yeah, you are.
Yeah, basically it's a funny thing because I was searching because I was playing with my identity stuff, and of course I need to represent the user in the UI, and I just searched, and it was like 1 day ago or something. It was like created 9th of November, so it's 3 days old, and I did this on the 10th. So I answered the question because it's not supported right off the box right now. So there is the current user display image attribute that's used in XAF Web and not XAF Blazor. And I just searched for this attribute and it didn't appear in Blazor. But it's basically what you said. Read the source code. And what I did was like, let me real quick. I can't share my Visual Studio right now, but basically what I did is like do a code, no, a code dot, do a code. And oh god, yeah, it's fine. So basically what I did is like it was like copy and pasting. It's like the window template component, and sorry for not having colorization, but it is a copy and pasting about the template. And there was only one thing I needed to change there. No, I didn't need to change anything there. Oh, right, there it is. This is the account component. And normally it's the account component from DevExpress, and I just do the Xenil account component. And the Xenil account component itself is a copy of the account component, but I brought in my own profile picture component. And everything else is the same as in your in the source code you showed, except this was an XAF image. So it's like an XAF image with the user thing.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And the profile picture itself is like basically users is like a fallback thing that just intercepts the thing, and I did some styling and stuff like this. and then I just, okay, if there is an image from the image URL, then display the image, or I do only the initials thing, which I have on, if the user doesn't provide an image, so it looks like in Office 365.
Nice.
If you don't have a picture, then you get the circle corner with your own color and your initials. Yeah, and basically I didn't have to do much from a code perspective, because I just for the profile picture, it's just using the normal Blazor stuff. So I grabbed the user from the HTTP context and grabbed some stuff from the claims. So nothing really special here. But the interesting thing is like how to intercept the stuff in the XAF world. So how to tell XAF to use my template. And I did only one thing. I derived from the window template in the it's the Dev Express Blazor templates namespace. It's the window template, and it's basically just derived. And then I just have to override this factory method to use the template. So it's to create the render fragment or that component. And the only thing I had to do, and there are other ways to do this, but I will just delete the non-interesting stuff real quick from my base application.
Yeah, while you do that, I have to say this is the perfect example that even if this is still not implemented from DevExpress, it's not official.
You can intercept.
You can intersect and do anything. They always give that extensibility in every part of the application. So
yes, and basically there are different ways to create default templates. You can like handle events, but for me, for this project, it's basically fine to do it in the application itself. And everything I was overriding, creating the default template, and if the context is the application window, I just create the new template window, and that's it, basically. So I was just looking through the source code, searching for my thing, and working my way up, even without the documentation. And it's like 1, 2, 3 files I had to access to totally change everything in the component, in the template. But what I did here is I just searched the source code and did just the copy and paste and replaced the stuff that didn't work out for me. So if I don't want the hamburger menu or another thing here, I would change this. But basically, I was interested in this, and there wasn't an easy way to intercept this.
You provide your own component, and you're good to go.
And you're good to go. Of course,
that's a beauty. That's a beauty.
the thing is it is like scaffolding, and of course, if they change the default template and I upgrade to a new version, you have to be aware of that sometimes you need to look at the default template if you have all the components in place and all the controls. Normally, it doesn't matter, so they go forward.
Pretty much when they upgrade, I will take their implementation and take mine away. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. But that's something you have to have in mind when changing the template or providing your own template. If you're going forward with new versions, if you want to have the latest and greatest features they built into the template, you have to compare the templates.
Yeah.
So your one and the provided one out of scaffolding. There is no scaffolding right now for Blazor, but that's fine. It took me like 2 minutes or something, or 10 minutes of research to do this. But this is the easy way people are asking for example, the current user image display attribute. that's not a perfect reconstruction because I'm not reading the user profile image from the user, but basically it's exactly the same thing. But it is, you can do whatever you want. It isn't that hard. It's just a matter of getting into the source code sometimes, digging into stuff.
And that's the best advice for everyone. Like, read the source code, read the support center, like join the community. And believe me, that there is no part that we cannot intersect, override, customize. Definitely. That's what we want to show. That's the main thing that we want to end up with you guys living today. Like, you can do anything. If you can do it in a regular .NET application, it's doable in XAF.
Yeah, and as you can see, I needed to do that at 2 places because there's the user image in the normal XAF Blazor thing and up in the corner. I didn't do that in my in the corner with the button. I didn't do that at the identity server itself because it was too tedious.
Manuel,
you look nice with those classes, and you don't look nice with those classes.
Yeah, Manuel, you need to update your profile picture because then it's think that that's your son.
Okay, guys, so let me show something else quickly. I created a new one just for Gustavo because I wanted to create a new template, but for some reason it's giving me, you know, I think that I even have to do an update on my computer. I have to do some, but I cannot add a new DevExpress item. I don't know why, so I can choose a template. So I can do a class, copy the template that I have, but it's too much time consuming for this, but I will show this. So this is what I was talking. We can say again, add new DevExpress item, and then we select the default vertical template, and that will create a new template. We can open that template, modify anything that we want here. If you see here, we have the image, and I add a logo as well. So with that one, the default template is changed. And then we have to go to our global ASAC and say, okay, I want you to use the new template that I created. I don't want you to use the one that comes by default. With that change, it's the same change that Manuel was talking, but he was doing it in a different way because it's Blazor. We have to create a new template that in his case was the main template.
Javier,
yeah.
Sorry that I interrupt you, but you need to take in consideration there that how to include the templates will change a little bit between platforms.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that I wanted to add.
Yeah, but if we saw on Blazor, it was completely different. We have to override a method, and in that method we are devolving returning a render fragment that it was the component that he created with a method called create that takes care of that part. And I don't know if you guys have go more in deep of the render fragment in Blazor, but it's a beauty. It has a builder tree inside that actually create the HTML that you want. You can do add element and add a div, add a open component and it opens a component, close component, add attribute. You can do everything. So you can do some really dynamic things. You can do we'll get to another. So after this meetup, I want to do another one that, and if you guys, I always trying to look for the suggestion of the community. So please, after the meetups, if you guys have any negative feedback, send it in private, don't send it in public. And if you have a positive feedback, put it in public. I like that. But again, the idea here is the next one. I want to do performance. I want to do a complete meetup that we review performance, how we can improve performance for everyone. That's the second thing that it comes back. XAF, when you get a lot of records, it gets slow, and we're gonna prove that it isn't. That it's your design, that we can do crazy things and we can improve things. And the one after that, let's do Blazor again, and let's come back to all these concepts that I was talking about now. That I'm excited about them. But pretty much, Gustavo, I want you to let me know if I answered your questions. So we create the template, and we decide what we want to do with the template. This is a regular HTML, and we can add a new element. We can do anything that we want here, and with that, we can tell our application, okay, use our default template, and then we can the new things that we add, it will be showing in the application. So if it's a new login template, of course, it will give an error now that I'm showing here. I just upgrade this. So, but this is the point. in this case, what I wanted to do is show a label besides the logo, and I have it here. And then if we go to the code, I put that logo label, I put meetup or anything, and then it will be showing the logo and it will show the label besides. So it's a simple change, but you can do anything, and that will be dynamically every time that the page doing it. You can do, okay, you are in the account module, and that label will show besides the logo. So we can do really nice, crazy things here. So we still have 15 minutes for the 12, so we hit the 2 hours mark. I want Jose to do a quick demo of the XAF to REST API, and then I want to open the meetup to questions. Every question that you guys want, and you guys can just unmute yourself, and we can have a discussion, and we call it a day. Sounds like a plan?
Yeah.
Okay, Jose.
Yeah, I'm ready. So I will start sharing my screen. Okay, guys. So I did a video on this for YouTube. We talked about this concept so many times with Javier, like when we're driving or something like that, or while we have some time free. And we said, like, yeah, let's do it. So we did it. So the idea is like, well, back in the day, you used to have OData, and we did a lot of systems with OData with Javier. And I did also a lot of systems myself alone. That's how I decided to use OData. But the thing is that most of the time you might need to interact with other systems. So the idea is like the design patterns of ASP.NET Core are really good, are basically amazing. There's no other word for me to say it. So the idea is that you have so many extensibility points for your application in Blazor or in ASP.NET Core in general, because you have hosted services, middleware, so on and so forth. So first of all, I want to thank the people from DevExpress, especially Dimitri. With this ticket, he showed me the idea of having a middleware in general in your system. This ticket is not related to what I'm going to show. This ticket is related to the Quartz scheduling system that we're doing. But in general, I just wanted to thank him because he showed me the idea of middleware. So in general, like what we did here, I don't want to show that much code, but just want to show the concept, is something like this. If you have a Blazor application, any Blazor application or any .NET Core application for ASP.NET, you have the startup class. So in here you can instantiate all your services that you need for your application. So in this case, what we are doing is that we're adding a middleware. So in this case, it's called XAF API Middleware. So if I show you the middleware, basically, what is a middleware is like something that will process your request before the request finish. So the idea is that you send some request, and maybe it's not for the UI, maybe it's for an API call. So in here you check the route of the request. Depending on the route, you decide to go to the UI or you decide to answer with JSON, for example.
Jose,
so let me, yeah.
Can just a real quick word on middleware.
Mm-hmm.
It is the chain of responsibility pattern.
Yeah.
So it is every request that goes in needs to go out, and you can intercept any request you want and change the order of the response or break the chain if you want to at any time you want. So you have this method. You if you want just introspect or log something, you can do this, or you can, like you did, check for the request path, do something with it, and then decide I am now finished with the call,
yeah,
and return the response. That's the basic thing about middleware.
You decide if you have to return the response right away, or if you will forward it to the next middleware till you finish, basically.
Yeah. That's
so
the thing. Yeah.
Here I'm going to show the application running first. So it's like a really simple application. I have modified nothing beside the middleware. So in here I have a domain object 2 with 2 records. And then I have the product, and the product is master detail. It's a shame that Dennis is not here today, because I guess he have tried this dish. Hachipuri is from Georgia. It's something like a pizza. It's like really tasty. So we do have products here, and the products are master detailed. We have then the.
Let me quickly intercept. In 20.2, have you seen that we lost save and new, save and close?
Oh yeah. Now that I don't have them, I miss them.
But the weird thing is not that we have lost it; it's that I don't see it in the documentation. The first time that I saw save and new and save and close, I said, "Why do I need that?" And then I get used to it, and now I don't have it.
Yeah, now I want to put them back.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have the product, which is master detail. You have the product, and then you have a details of sales. And in this is a flat object, basically just pure primitive properties. So I will stop this because I want to show that you don't need to log in the application for the API or the middleware to run. But what I will show here is, here I have Postman, which is a tool to make API request calls. So basically here, let me show you, this is the most basic request. Basically everything here is a URL parameter. So you say like your application URL, then I will say that this segment is called easy because I wanted to name it XAF easy data or something like that. There is no official name so far.
XAFQL.
Yes. Oh, well, XAFQL. Yeah, we came up with that in the end. XAFQL. So then you do data and then you pass a parameter for the properties. You send the list of properties here. Or you can send a calculated expression if you need it. Then you send the type. In this case, I'm sending domain object 2, and I will run this. So this is what I get in return. I get a JSON of the domain object 2 with the properties that I select that I wanted to see. So you get that for free. In here, I'm showing 3 properties, which is OID, demo, and description. If I remove the OID, for example, I will just get less data. And this is really neat because you really don't have to code anything else. You just change the request and you will get new data, and the query will be the most, because this is based on the XAF data view. So you will have not to load the complete object and serialize it. Everything is done for you just when you include the middleware. So this is the most simple example. Then let me show you a different example. In this case, I'm doing, it's the same URL. I'm doing the same segment, but I'm doing a different object. I'm doing product instead of domain object 2. And what I'm doing is also, I'm getting fields from the product class, and then I'm doing some aggregated operations on the detail, which is the invoice. So if you can see here on the property list, I'm including the OID, the description, name, and then I'm doing, for the invoices, I'm doing the sum, and then inside of the sum, I'm doing count. I'm doing count by price. So you can do like really complex calculated properties, and then you will get the return like this. So in here, you have, in this case, you have the product OID, the product name, the product description, and then this is an aggregated value. You get the total of sales that you have, which is basically you go to the invoice collection, and then you multiply the count per price. So it doesn't matter how crazy is your expression. If you are able to calculate it with XAF in general or with XPO, you will get it from the API anyway. So this is really neat because just by adding like one line of a middleware, you can get this for free. So you can interact with Xamarin and any other.
Jose, did you also include that we have a capability for sorting, custom criteria?
Oh yeah. Actually, the last example here, in this case, this is a custom criteria. I mean, you can make the request more complex. What you need for the basic request is what I show here in the first one. You need the property list and the type. And then you will include all the properties on the property list, and it will be the type that you said. Then in the second example, I use same property list and type, but I use calculated expressions. So you can do calculated fields. And this is the third example. And in the third example, I'm using a 4-parameter, which is criteria. I just want to get the sum when the name of the product is Hachipuri. So if I run this, I'm not getting all the data. The data is filtered, the expression is calculated, you get the fields, and basically you get everything. So it's just one line and you will get an API for free that looks a lot like OData.
Yeah.
So who doesn't want that? I mean, it's like really easy to integrate and you have a lot of information.
I think there's a question from Mani is, what about security? The neat thing about having implemented as a middleware is you can put authorize, OpenID connect, all that stuff before, because you can intercept the call before and say, okay, this needs to be authorized. And you can, because it is a normal, can you show the code again? It's a normal API controller. So you can leverage all the...
Actually, Manuel, this is not even a controller.
It isn't a controller.
Yeah,
but
it's a middleware.
It's a middleware, but it doesn't matter. You can...
Yeah, it works as a controller, basically.
It works as a controller, and you can protect, again, with attributes and doing interception before. So you have this use endpoint. Go back into Startup.
In the Startup, here.
Yeah,
this one.
You see there's the HTTPS redirection. Every line of code that's is ordered is executed in order. And if you have to use authentication, then you have authentication. If you use authorization, you can check for authorization, filter attributes, use policies, all the kind of stuff.
Also in here, it depends on the order. For example, you need to include the middleware before you include XAF.
Yes.
Because if not, XAF will be processed first.
Yes.
So
and it will capture the URL.
Yeah, it will be in there because the requests are processed in order, as you put it in here.
I think that the question was, what about XAF security system?
I was going to talk about that. It's like at this moment, I just created the middleware that produced the data. But also we have the Bit Framework repository in GitHub, which is open source, where the XPO API was, well, it's still there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same attributes that we use for XPO API to protect the API here. So the idea will be something like that. You will have two middlewares. One middleware to log in and get a token. And with that token, you can query the API. So you can include the security, self-security somehow.
And there, XAML identity can jump in, for example,
and
provide you secure tokens. So you can authenticate your API or it's like a client and application or two. It's the OpenID Connect stuff is really it isn't complicated, but cumbersome. So cumbersome things. So you can just grab a token or grab a token from the calling API where a bearer token, for example, the authorization header, and do, hey, who is the user? Is there any user in my database that I can relate to, for example? And then I can impersonate the user in between that request. And then I even can use a secured object space to filter down all the data that is based on the security system.
Actually, at this moment, Manuel, because this is just a prototype, I'm not using the secure object space. I'm using the normal object space. So,
but it's technically possible.
Yeah, so I mean, there is no security at the moment because yesterday I was just wanted to create a prototype that works. But in general, I think that the neat idea is to use the secure object space. So the same restrictions of your role will apply to the API for free. You don't have to do any configurations at all. Basically, the only thing that you will need to include here is like, at this moment, we have one for the API that we will change it for the SAFQL, actually, query language, SAF query language. And then we will add one in front for the security. So you will have both. And with just 2 lines, you will expose your application in a secure manner as an API to anyone that wants to use it. You can use the same criteria as you use in SAF or XPO. And maybe later, because, well, you need time for this stuff. We will be able to process link expressions. So you can do a link query on text, send it, and you will get back the result of that. And
okay, guys.
also we have the 1 second, Javier. The last part of this will be in the end that we can do all the cruise operation. At the moment, it's only support to read. And with that, I finish my example.
Okay,
So
guys.
go back to
Either way, I think that we can. This is a really interesting topic, and I'm really excited about it. Maybe we can do a Twitch, and Manuel can also give us some pointers, and we can go from there. And now that I say Twitch, I want to invite everyone. We did a Twitch with Manuel. We did really late. I was in my last 3 hours, my last
and it
15
was
minutes.
really early for me.
Yeah. So
it was 7 p.m.
And Manuel has also an identity server that is really cool. So if you guys have been thinking about how to share security system between a lot of SAF applications, Manuel have a great solution there. So you can go check that video, or we can talk about this in another.
Send me an issue. Just to share the link real quick, it's like GitHub.
It's also on my Suffer Weekly. It's one of the links on Suffer Weekly where we can discuss about that. Manuel, send it on the chat for everybody, please.
I sent that on the chat. Just let me a question.
So right now, in the last part of the meetup, anyone who has any questions, it doesn't have to be UI related, but if it's about any screenshot of anything about SAF, feel free to put it on the chat, and any of us will answer it right away. But while you guys put the question on the chat, I want to leave you guys with some known users that are right now. So if you have had this issue where the ASP.NET application throw an exception when you're calling the isGranted method, there is already a hotfix. So please feel free to go and download that. There is also some issues on SAF Blazor that it will be fixed on the next .NET. And actually, if you see here, you can update your .NET to .NET 5. And now it doesn't have to be preview because we now have the release already. So that will help you with that error. We have another issue that when you are using WinForms and you are using like the Office 2007 scheme, the performance gets suffering a lot. So also please check this ticket, and there is a download for 20.4 and 1.9. So if you're having that issue with any of those errors with that performance, with that slowing, please download the hotfix. Again, there is also that hotfix for the model editor that the state is losing after you close and reopen Visual Studio, and a lot of other hotfix. Please, all those links are on my blog. Check it out. If you are running into any issue, please check first. There is already a hotfix. One that I will say for sure that it was happening for me was this one, that the navigation item wasn't showing nothing. I was like, where are my navigation? There is not my details, role, defaults. So they are working in a hot issue right now, but in the meantime, there is a workaround. You can add the permission policy user and permission role and modify your SAML. And with that one, your model will come back and will show all the navigations that you need. But in the Blazor server app, when you click the model, sometimes it gives you this, that there is no even one item, one node in that navigation item. So that has happened to me personally. So this is a great workaround in the meantime that they actually get this fixed. One other thing, and I haven't verified this, but this is another issue where you are calling a XP query and you're doing a select after, is the memory is getting increased. I haven't tested, but the nice thing that I like about this, if you call the two lists before the select, it's not going to impact in any difference the performance, and it will avoid any of those issues because XPO calls the inner method before after loading in both cases. So it's another trick. I would say trick is another way to like just to make sure that that doesn't happen. So with that known issues that I wanted to bring to you, just in case you are running into any of those and you know that there is a hot fix already available, I think that we can call it a day. The rest of the part we're gonna give like 5 minutes. So if anyone have a question or a suggestion, my plan is to do next one on performance. So I appreciate if you guys are on board with that. And then the one after that, it will be all Blazor again. We did with Manuel meetup it up just in Blazor, like when it was starting. I think that is a good point to come back to it, because there are a lot of neat things about hosted service, middleware, about integrating DevExtreme, security, DevExtreme, integrating all the DevExtreme control that we have, a lot of that interaction with JavaScript. There are a lot of nice things, dashboard, scheduler, and new things that DevExpress is coming up every day. So I don't see any question on the chat, but even if we don't have it here, because maybe you run in an issue later on, we are all, Manuel, Dave, Jose, and myself, we are willing to, like, any question that you guys have, send it to us, post it in the Gitter, in Facebook, in LinkedIn, everywhere. And always grateful to see many of you putting, because even if we're going to post this later on YouTube, you guys are here interacting with us, talking about technology. Hopefully, as I was saying in the beginning, we can do a in-person conference, summit, something at some point in the 2021, and then we get also
one day soon.
Yeah, and we also get DevExpress to show there, and we like do something, because we enjoy this. And that will be all on my side. I don't know if you guys want to add anything else, but hopefully for the first time since we started, we are in the 2 hours mark. We are in 2 hours mark.
Finally.
And
I just wanted to say
before quickly, Manuel, and I will let you finish. One thing, if someone else from now on asks you, hey, XAF is not customizable, the UI, send it to this link. I say, hey, and I'm going to be adding every time more and more screenshots. Send them to the link. Look how many screenshots do we have of things that the XAFers have done. And I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of more out there that we haven't here. So again, thank you for joining. And Manuel, please feel free.
I was just saying, hey, people out there, stay healthy. We all impacted by COVID, so I hope we can join next year for a meetup in person. So
in summer at least.
Yeah, in summer we hope so. So stay healthy and be awesome.
Yeah, so for me the same, guys, take care. I'm glad that the response that we have in the community, we have so many screenshots. Thanks for that. Actually, we appreciate that. Again, as Javier said, if someone tells you XAF is not customizable on the UI, show them the link and show them the video, because we will have a video of this. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks everyone that participated, and that's it. Just stay safe, as Manuel said, and see you on the next meetup.
Yeah, guys, and there is a great power in community. So I look forward to the next one. Thanks everyone to showing up, and see you next time.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.